What's up guys, OpTic Ashes here bringing you another Ask Ashes video. Today I've got a lot of questions. You guys are really active on Twitter when I tweeted out, send me your questions. So I've got a lot of questions I'm going to try to get through really quick. Now, a disclaimer, normally I have these questions kind of pre-answered, like I'll go through them all, I'll answer them kind of like, short notes of what I want to say. Today I'm going to try doing it on the fly, so I'm going to read the question, answer it off the top of my head, and we're going to go from there, alright? So let's get started. Question number 1 comes from @BrandoSpoke, who asks, would you rather have your dream car for 3 years or a private plane for 6 months? Definitely going to have to go with the dream car, the Lotus Elise. Love that car, would love to have it for 3 years. It would suck giving it up after 3 years, but hopefully at that point, I've saved up money, not having to pay for a car, and we're good to go. Get another one, buy another one. Question number 2 comes from OnyxGuard109. Shout out to OnyxGuard, by the way. I believe he's the one who did the charity stream. That was really awesome that I got to partake in. But he asks, for players that want to get into professional Gears of War, where do they start and can you give them any tips? Your best bet is to honestly just grind the game and play it. Go on game battles, create an account, and start competing, whether it be by yourself in the singles ladder or with a friend in the doubles ladder, or if you can find people you want to team with in the team ladder. And just grind, get your name out there, and that's going to kind of how you get that recognition to work your way up into the upper echelon of players. @Variant asks, will you guys ever be going to the Scuf house? As of right now, I have no idea. I want to. Question number 4 comes from Brilliant Brandon, who asks, who is your favorite person in the subreddit Discord? I like all of you guys, and I'm going to cheat my way out of this answer. I look at the subreddit Discord as one big group of awesomeness. And I'm looking over at the Discord right now, and so yeah, I like all of you. Oh, sorry. Question number 5 comes from Mr. Radio Machine, who says, when will you start collabing with the guys in OpTic, playing COD, Halo, or even CS:GO? I would love to collab with all or any of the guys in OpTic. It's just a matter of kind of finding the right timing and getting in contact with them. It's because like we're not in the house, so it's not as easy as when they collab together. It's a lot of coordination involved, but we're working towards it. Question number 6 comes from @_Synex_, who says, how does it feel to be part of the green wall? It feels amazing. All right, I mentioned it today on my stream. I used to tell my league players years ago how much I wanted to be in OpTic, how it was a dream sponsor, a dream word for me. And now that it's actually happening, it's still surreal, but it's amazing. And it's almost all because of you guys out there who support us and make all of this possible. So thank you, and it's a dream come true. It really is. You guys pushed me recently over to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. That's just completely mind-blowing. I can't thank you guys enough how much it means to me and all of us. Question number 7 comes from my good friend Explosive, who said, what is your best and worst memory in esports? Best memory probably has to be winning MLG Columbus with the guys. Obviously I didn't play, but we as a team won the event, and I always went to MLG events dreaming to be that guy or on that team that won the event, and now that it's finally happening, even though I'm a coach, it just means so much. I was struggling not to tear up when it happened. My worst memory in esports, there's been a few kind of rough patches where I wasn't happy with where I was or what I was doing, either as a competitor or as the team I was on, or just dealing with really serious issues that made life just overly stressful. And I don't want to get into too much details about those, but an Explosive knows what one of them is. But yeah, there's been a few of those that those are probably some of the worst memories, but I try not to focus on those too much. Question number 8 comes from @Max_Chiasen, who asks, do you think old Gears players will have the hard time adapting to the speed of Gears of War 4 and new players will be on the rise? We already see that. The old players who don't want to adapt to how the new games are played, even Gears of War UE, which is a remake, has a bunch or a remaster, sorry, has a bunch of added gameplay elements that these players have developed that they refuse to adapt to. And so rather than adapting and working towards, fixing their gameplay, they complained about the game. So the ones that were able to adapt, the ones that, were willing to learn, those are the ones that you see successful. Shout out to Prison for being one of the most notable ones off the top of my head. He's been awesome at adapting, and he's an old school Gears of War 1 pro. So players like that will continue to see success because they're willing to adapt and to change their play styles. But I think the new blood, you know, the new players, the players that are considered the Gears of War 3 babies, those will be the ones that we continue to, or that we see continue to be dominant. Question number 9, at Noah4744 asks, when's the next Gears of War tournament? That is October 22nd and 23rd. It is the Gears of War 4 launch invitational. Question number 10 comes from Anonymous asking, what is my favorite game other than Gears of War? League of Legends. I spent the most time playing that game, managing, coaching, competing, love that game. Number 11 also comes from a different Anonymous who asks, if GAL didn't exist, if Gears of War didn't exist, do you think you would be playing another game at a competitive level? If so, what game? I don't currently play, I coach, but making sure that that's clear in this question, I would probably still be working in League of Legends if I didn't, you know, switch over to Gears of War when I did. And even when I first did, I still worked with League teams, but soon found myself not having the time to do both, and Gears of War was the one that I had the most passion for. Question number 12 comes from at @NaughtyHasGame, who asks, do you claw grip or an elite? Do you use claw grip or do you use an elite controller with paddles? I actually don't do either. I use a Scuf controller, shout out to Scuf Gaming, one of the proud sponsors of OpTic, and I actually take the paddles off my Scuf. I don't know why, I'm just super old school and I'm unwilling to adapt, which is, you know, one of the reasons why I suck. But I use a Scuf that has no paddles. So I will say, if you want to optimize your gameplay in Gears of War, you need to be able to claw or you need to be able to use paddles, because there's just movements that you cannot do physically with the way you're supposed to standardly hold a controller. So you need to be able to adapt to those kind of things in order to perfect and optimize your gameplay. Question number 13 comes from an anonymous asker who says, how does one get into Gears esports lobbies and play with the pros? Like I said in a previous question, you just got to grind your way up. You got to make a name for yourself. It's not just one of those things where there's lobbies going on where a bunch of pros are playing. You might run into them in pubs, but usually like they're going to be scrimming or competing. So play GB matches. Maybe you'll run into a pro team who's on there playing GBs. We play GBs a lot. So, you know, maybe you'll run into us and you'll do really well and you'll make a name for yourself. And that's kind of how you build up your reputation. Question number 14 comes from Anonymous, who asks, what got you into competitive gaming as a whole, and what was your first competitive game? My first competitive game was actually Gears of War, and I was brought into the whole world of esports when a friend of mine, a really good close friend of mine who's also a Gears of War player named Karills, invited me to play a game battles match with him and some of his friends. So I did that, and that got me addicted to playing competitively, and that opened up a whole new world. I played game battles all the way through Gears of War 2, MLG events, switched to League of Legends, played League of Legends competitively, and I've always been a competitive person, so, you know, competitive is where I've always kind of, competitive is always kind of where I found myself, no matter what I did. Question number 15 comes from @Fallen0_, who asks, what dream car would you have? Answered this in the previous question. Lotus Elise, my favorite car. I don't know why, I don't know what it is about that car, I just love it. And it's realistic, it's not that expensive, so soon. Lotus, if you're watching this, feel free to send me one. Feel free, literally, honestly, feel free. Question number 16 comes from @TitleManx, who asks, why are you so cool? Why are you so cool? Question number 17 comes from Elevate Inc., who asks, what do you think of Envy adding Solars as their 5th? I don't care. They could have added anybody. Literally don't care. We're there to take a win. It doesn't matter who the names are on that team. What matters to us is how badly we beat them. Question number 18 comes from and then a bunch of underscores, Ryan, who asks, what was your first gaming console? I think either the Super Nintendo or the Sega Genesis. I don't remember which one. I was really young. I know we had both, but I don't know which one we got first. But I remember playing Sonic and wrestling and NASCAR and golf on the Sega Genesis. I remember playing like Temco Bowl and stuff, Duck Hunt, Track and Field on the Super Nintendo. The first one that was actually given to me, oh, I also had an original Game Boy. Played Mario Golf all the time on that. The first one that was given to me would either be a Game Boy Color, where I played Pokemon like non-stop, blue version for the win, or a Nintendo 64. Those are like the first two consoles that were given to me. Question number 19 comes from Sean Bruce, who asks, what is your favorite thing about OpTic Gaming and the Green Wall? And honestly, I have to say, one, the fact that it's a dream come true is one of like the most amazing, mind-blowing things. But honestly, like the support that you guys give us, like the fans and the Green Wall itself, it's unparalleled. I've never experienced anything like it, and you guys are making our dreams come true. it's just incredible how much you guys support us and you know, help us accomplish what we wanted to, you know, like help push us to you know, make content on YouTube and to stream and just come out and watch our videos and watch our streams and stuff. Like that kind of support is just, it's amazing. And so I think that's one of the most incredible experiences. I literally don't know enough adjectives to properly describe this whole thing, but I mean, it's awesome. It really is. The last and final question comes from Aspire Shadows, who asks, if you didn't end up in the Gears Pro League, where do you think you would have gone and why? I probably would have stuck with League of Legends. I did apply for, you know, for a bunch of jobs with different gaming companies, as well as like in their esports departments, as well as like ESL and MLG and stuff. So I would have continued to pursue that. My goal is to continue to work in esports. Like that is where my passion lies. And so I'm hoping that OpTic Gaming is like, you know, that's where I, you know, stay. That's what my goal is. That's what my dream is. To just, you know, be a part of OpTic. But I would love to do content creation, obviously, and that's why I'm working really hard to do that. But, you know, esports is my passion, so, and gaming in general. So, all right, guys, that's going to be it for today's video. Thank you so much for all your questions. If you have a question that you want to ask for next week's video, make sure to leave it down in the comments below or tweet it at me using the hashtag AskAshes. If you DM me, unless I know you, I'm going to assume that you want the question to be anonymous, which is why I've had anonymous questions in this. So tweet it at me if you want to ask it, you know, publicly, and DM me it if you want to ask it anonymously. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to leave a thumbs up if you liked the video, and of course, as always, click the subscribe button down below. I really appreciate the support, guys, and I will see you in the next video.